Hi, interns, and welcome again to the internship at Illinois State University. I'm Dr. Julie Schumacher, Director of the Internship Program. I know many of you have corresponded with Caitlin Bird, and she will be your main correspondent as distance students. But please feel free to reach out to me if you ever have any questions about the internship program. As you begin these modules for the orientation process, I encourage you to make sure that you are in a place that you can concentrate, that you have some paper that you can take notes, and most importantly, that you have this handbook available. We gave it to you ahead of time. You certainly can print copies if you need, or refer to the page numbers of where this information is. So on the first page of the handout, I did want to make sure that everybody had our contact information. So both Caitlin and my emails are on here. Our phone numbers to our office are on here. And please don't hesitate to let us know if you need anything. As a distance student, you might not feel like you have that quick accessibility to our office hours or to another classmate, but know that there's lots of technology to keep us connected. Clearly, that old-fashioned telephone works really well. I will pass along my cell phone number to you in an email. And if you're ever driving home from rotations some evening and need to bounce an idea off of me or have a question or concern, don't hesitate to call. All right, so this training that we have, we've decided to break it up into different modules. Then you don't have to sit through, hours of an orientation all in one. And we've really thought about how we can best prepare you as interns. So this first video is going to be relatively short. I'm going to just introduce you to the internship, give you a little history, and then talk about our mission and our goals of our program. I think that will really set the foundation as the next video we'll dive into more of the policies and procedures, and then followed by the different rotations: community, food service, clinical, long-term care, kind of what to expect. Our hope is by the time you've completed these orientation modules, you are ready to begin as a dietetic intern. If you take your handbook here, we have made the table of contents to have links to some of this information. So if you were to click on missions of the program, it would take you to that section, or you can scroll. It's up to you, but did kind of want to first acquaint you to how you might use this handbook best. So we are going to cover the mission of the program and goals and objectives. And to start with, I really just wanted to talk about the program in general and give you a little bit of history. As you know, you are walking in as our first distance interns, but I don't want that to scare you, okay? Our program has a long history and we have a very positive national reputation. Our program first received accreditation in 1997, and since that time, we have just evolved to keep up with the standards and to really become a leader as an internship program. In 2005, I took over as director of the program, and it is now 2019. So when I say I've been here forever, it kind of feels that way. But what that also means is I have a lot of history of working with preceptors, of working with interns. I know what works, what doesn't, and I know a lot of tips to help you along the way to make sure that you are successful. I am also a graduate of this program, so I really do have faith in this program. I know what works, and I know what it's like to be an intern. All right, and I want to make sure that you have a very successful next 9 months. As far as the distance program and how that evolved, last year, in 2018, we put together a report to Ascend, first of all, for our required accreditation. So every 8 years we go through the accreditation process, and to 2018 we had reviewers come to our program, and really everything was top notch, and we were ready to take on something new. Also at that time, we were seeing some of our undergrad students, maybe they stay on and get masters, maybe they're not matched somewhere else, and we want to provide them an opportunity, but at that time we only have 10 slots, and it was a mastered combined internship program. So what can we do to reach more students? And that's where I developed the proposal to Ascend to Illinois State University's graduate school to propose a new graduate certificate program, which included 10 grad credit hours and a dietetic internship. This was completely approved last December of 2018, and we were able to recruit all of you outstanding students, and we are so excited for you to start with rotations this August. So, yes, you are the first of the students doing the distance program. However, we have really done our best to try to mimic everything to what the MSDI students are doing, because the MSDI students do rotations during their last year. So things are very similar. Competencies are all the same for any internship across the US, and our goals and missions of the program, it's all the same, because it really is all under the one umbrella of the Illinois State University Dietetic Internship. So I didn't want to bore you, but I did want you to understand the background of how this program came into existence, why we chose to do the distance program, and we are just so pleased to have you as our first class of distance students. All right, moving on to the mission of the program. In your packet that you have the mission of the Department of Family and Consumer Sciences. Our program is within the Department of Family Consumer Sciences. You might have come from an undergrad program that has a Department of Nutrition. At our university, we have a Department of Family Consumer Science, and under that, we have interior design, fashion, merchandising and design, human development and family science, and food, nutrition, and dietetics. So it's just a different organization system than you might have experienced, or you might have come from a Department of Family Consumer Sciences. What that means for you is there are 3 core classes that if you were to continue on and get your master's degree, you would need to complete those 3 core classes plus some additional credits, and you could graduate at the end with a master's in our program. I know it's early to be thinking about that, but I did want to put that in the back of your mind if it's something that you'd like to consider. Otherwise, for you, and I tell all students this, it doesn't matter in the end, because you are getting a graduate certificate for the dietetic internship. But I think it's important to know where your roots are within this academic program, and for you, it's family consumer sciences. As you scroll down on page 5 of the handbook, you can see our mission and goals. So when we look at the mission of our internship program, you see some key things that pop out. Number 1, we prepare students to be entry-level registered dietitians, and that is our goal, that in 9 months, you are ready to take and pass the RD exam. So I know in your 402 online class, you'll be spending a lot of time preparing for that exam, especially in kind of the months of March, April, and May, to make sure everyone's ready to take and pass that exam. Other things that pop out, the lifelong learners in the community, and we see this leadership as well. I will talk in another module about our concentration area, but our concentration is leadership and project management. So all of you will have an opportunity to continue to develop your leadership skills. And then most importantly, the last part of that mission says apply theory to practice. And that is what an internship is all about. You have spent years in the classroom setting for your DPD program, preparing all that knowledge. You have a solid knowledge foundation, and now you're ready to take that knowledge and put it into practice. And that's what your rotations are all going to do, and allow you to get that hands-on experience. As we look at the program goals and objectives, I won't bore you by reading these, but I did want you to be aware from the kind of behind the scenes what Caitlin and I do to make sure that we have a solid program and that we feel like we are continually improving our program. Our goals that we have are to prepare superior quality graduates to be competent entry-level registered dietitian nutritionists, and to prepare graduates to incorporate theory into practice through leadership and project management in food service, clinical, and community. So kind of tying everything together. So those two goals allow us to meet our mission. As you look at, well, how do we measure these goals? I encourage you to read through our program objectives that we have, and just some things to highlight here of what we make sure to do. We make sure that you're going to graduate, okay? And we want to make sure that you graduate within, we have it set for 9 months, but Ascend gives us 150% of the planned time. So we track everything, just like an undergrad university would track graduation rates. We do the same. We look at GPAs and we look at employment afterwards. And as you read these, you'll see some different surveys. So we will ask you to take an exit survey when you're done. We will contact you 18 months later and ask you to take an alumni survey. We ask you to pass along a survey to your employers a year and a half from now to make sure that we were graduating students that meets the needs of the employers as well. So we have a lot of data coming in, we analyze it, and we look at, especially those comments, those written comments, what can we do to improve the program? And so I want you to be aware of this up front, because if there is something that you think just isn't working or you have any recommendations for us, certainly tell us along the way, because we want to make sure that this program works and works smoothly for the students. Other larger issues or things that you just think should be tweaked in the future, those all we will ask for at the exit survey as well. So we really value your feedback. But if there is anything up front, just let us know, again through email, how we could improve the program as we go. Similar with program goal number 2, you'll see we take information from exit surveys, from alumni data, and preceptors as well. So all of your preceptors you will be evaluating, and they clearly will be evaluating you, but they also will be evaluating Caitlin and I as well. So feedback, we feel, is really important as we continue to be a strong program and one that has a high pass rate for that RD exam, and that we can ensure you are those competent entry-level registered dietitians.